I'm going to be a media person, which means already he has inspired this kid for future, for our generation to work. So this transformative, foundation has got multiplier effect so that, it's going to have impactful. So in this journey, Joe, we are going to be with you. The Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, in particular the Petroleum Department, we shall be with you in terms of support, verbal, ideas, resources to make sure that you succeed. Some of us might not be going to Berlin, but we'll be watching you over the media to give you support to make sure that you make Kenya proud. Having said this, tutakuwa pamoja. We wish you God's blessings, God's energy, because running is a lot of energy. May God empower you so that you meet your mandate and God. Thank you so much. Having said this, it is now my honor to invite Honorable CS for Education, Honorable Migos, to make his remarks. Please clap for him.
Thank you, PS. My friend Joe and family, the CEOs here present, Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to ride on the protocols already established and just state by saying, Joe, thank you for this initiative. When I was sitting there with my brother, Honorable Mbadi, and the chairman of the Board of Trustees called me learned friend, Mbadi was not happy. But learned friends, normally when people have spoken the way they have here, and the information that has come through, in order not to water it down, we normally say we associate ourselves with the submissions already made, and we have nothing useful to add. Then you sit down. You save time. But I have a written speech, which I think my team wanted me to read. But when I was invited to this event by Joe, I started wondering, why is he inviting me? What role am I supposed to play? Am I supposed to speak as a beneficiary of such a foundation because he knows my life? Or back together. And incidentally, we're in the same class with Joe's younger brother, Ben. Older. Joe, am I older than you? I thought that what your boy doesn't know, and many people who are in Kabarak did not know, is that I'm a beneficiary of such support. So that my parents only paid school fees for the first term in Form 1. And for 6 years, I was a beneficiary of support from well-wishers, including His Excellency President Daniel Arap Moi the late. That is why when I was invited, I said it is important for people to know that sometimes without support from such organizations and well-wishers, some of us, or most of us, would not be where we are today. In other words, what am I saying? I'm saying what Joe is doing to go to Berlin, in my view, is really not about running. is not about the 3 hours. As he said, it's not about the medals. It is about assisting the children who otherwise would not have a chance in this life. And that is really something to congratulate you for, because you are giving of your time, you are giving of your energy, you are giving of your sacrifice, you are sacrificing in order to be able to do this, so that some of us can reach where we are. Describes us. My primary school was 5 kilometers away. And we had to go, and sometimes you couldn't come back for lunch. You have to stay the whole day without food, and then you come back, stuff like that. So we went through those difficulties, and that's why we are so passionate when Joe is doing something like this, and I hope and wish that from this example, most of us can do the same. And if we can't do, we give support to those who are showing us the way like Joe has done. I met the chairman in the 90s, the chairman of the board of trustees. The first time I met him, I don't think whether he remembers, he was the first beneficiary of the Commonwealth Young Lawyers Scholarship Program in 1995, 94, I think. And I was the second in 96. So he came to give me a brief on how, when I go to the UK, where we were going to study in the University of London, the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, how I would behave. That was another support system that we got for us to keep going to be where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, as Cabinet Minister of Education, I have visited many schools. I have visited schools where there are no classrooms, like in Tharaka-Nithi. I have visited schools in Magarini, where sometimes it's part of Kenya, 200-300 kilometers from Malindi town. All those children, just like children who are in Nairobi, have dreams of becoming doctors, of becoming lawyers, of becoming engineers, of becoming teachers, but without the support that individuals like us can give, because the government may not have the capacity to do it. Under the Ministry of Education, and I want to give you some statistics, we are doing 28% of the budget to the Ministry of Education, and it's still not enough. The UNESCO standard is that we are supposed to do 20%. We are already 8% above that standard, and Honorable Mbadi would be speaking to that at some point. That means that without the support system from individuals, and from individuals like what Joe is doing here, there are some students or some learners who will not be reached. We admit to the universities 28% of the students who do KCSE. We have 10,400 secondary schools. Out of those 10,400, 5,000 schools do not send a single child to university, and have not sent a single child to university in the last 5, 6, 7 years. And where are these 5,000 schools? They're in those low-income areas, in those rural areas, where there are no facilities to support the system. 70% of the students we admit to universities are from private schools, are from national schools, are from schools that are in areas where facilities are. So there is a need for what Joe is doing to support the children. I have known Joe under many headings. I know the PS talked about family, talked about leadership, talked about the foundation. I have known him where we've been in the trenches, and the resilience that he has is admirable. He falls, but he still rises. And all of us face those challenges in life. So it is so important for us to know that there is something that we can do. Even as we criticize government for not being able to do the capitation when it should, or the resources are not enough, in our own sphere of control, of influence, there is something we can do so that we can ease the burden of what our people and children are going through. I want to say that Joe, and in fact, last Sunday, I think we're in Belgut, also in Kericho, where there was another marathon, and we were able to raise some resources. I think it was Nelson Koech, Honorable Nelson Koech was undertaking it. So there is an individual doing something there. Joe is doing his here. Last month we were in Pwani University. The students in Pwani University themselves have come up with a program where they want to raise some resources to support their students within the college, and we agreed we'll go there in October and give them some support. So combined with this other partners we have and other sponsors, we can be able to reduce and ensure that we support our students, our learners to our life. People would otherwise, like the one who is standing here, would otherwise not have been able to be cabinet minister without that support. So ladies and gentlemen, I am here to say we are committed to support Joe. When Joe told me that he's starting this foundation, I was not cabinet minister then. I was chairman of KenGen, and KenGen, as you said, KPC is doing well. KenGen has been showing you the way. They are doing much better. So you follow that route, and you'll do. When he told me, and he's the one who gave me the pledge, he decided what amount that I'm supposed to give to this foundation, and I did not contest. And I intend to fulfill that pledge, which I cannot say here because as government official, it is not very good. But I am going to ensure that we give you support, even as a ministry, we'll give you the support, and as you run, I know you have indicated here that we run with me and transform my life. I may not be able to run or even try to try and run. That wall that you talked about, for me, probably doesn't even exist because I can't do much in running, even if it's 5 kilometers. But we'll give you the support, and you have a good team in the trustees. I'm sure that you are going to make that figure that we've talked about. You're going to hit that target and even go beyond it. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you. We'll pray for you. We'll be running with you in spirit, and we'll be able to commit resources to the foundation. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Asanteni sana.
A round of applause for CS Education. May I also take this opportunity again to welcome Honorable Mbadi, CS Treasury.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Before I forget, Joe, let me bring to you apologies of the following officials of government. The Prime Cabinet Secretary would have loved to be here, but he told me, communicated to you and told you he would not be physically present, but he's here with you in spirit. The Cabinet Secretary for Matters Interior, Kipchumba Murkomen, has also sent his apologies. CS Rebecca Miano, Charge of Tourism, has also sent her apologies. I would also like to bring here the apologies of the Leader of Majority in the National Assembly, Honorable Kamano Ichung'wah, and the Leader of Majority, in the Senate. They are conducting a very important exercise today, as you know. Honorable Aaron Cheruiyot. And finally, Honorable Nelson Koech, who is the Chair of Defense in the National Assembly. That's it. Those are the only apologies that I have. So, you know, when Joe, you invited me to be here this morning, I was asking myself, what is the nexus between macros and marathon? probably you have given a hint that I'm supposed to facilitate some flights to. I'm trying to look for the budget line. The moment I get that budget line, I will make sure as many of you as possible will be flying to Berlin if I get the budget line. So if you don't fly to Berlin, get to know that the budget line was not found. So Joe, you'll help me because you're an accountant like me to locate where that budget line is. But I know very well that this morning it's all about Joe. So Cheboy, if I talk about you, usifikirie, this is your day. Please be careful. And I don't know whether your head should not be big or small. You know, when I was growing up, my mother used to tell me, when I do something nice and she praises me, then she used to tell me, don't have a small head because I've praised you. But nowadays I hear people saying, don't have a big head, so I don't know which is which. But I'll take my mother's position because I believe my mother was the cleverest woman in the world. So she told me, don't have small head. And now, you know, we were with Cheboy in Parliament for some time. And it's very difficult to speak after him. He was our deputy speaker. He used to be our entertainer-in-chief, Entertainer 001. And there was a place where we used to sit. And we were really going to miss you. And this gentleman here is very interesting. He used to tell each one of us, a few days to election, he addresses each one of you and tells you, you are coming back. Wewe unaenda nyumbani. And he used to be so accurate, I'm telling you. So we were so careful towards election, you made sure that you are not near Cheboy because he may tell you a news that you don't want to hear. Unfortunately, he did not discover that he was also going home. And when I discovered that he was going to fall the same fate, and I didn't want him to, because we were going to lose our entertainer-in-chief. So one time I decided to be a bit innovative and creative, to just try to help him because I could see he was going home. And you know, I used to ask him, how are things? And he was telling me, well, things are okay. And I was like, really? So what did I do? You know, he was supposed to be in Mrengo in Guinea. We used to call it Tanga Tanga. Unfortunately, I found myself in that Mrengo Sahi. But is it unfortunate or fortunate? But you see, I was in that, not broad-based, that was handshake. So I became very innovative because he was a speaker one afternoon and he made a ruling against us. So I decided to quickly call for press conference to castigate him and say, this man only thinks about William Ruto. Every morning, evening, William Ruto. This man should not even be deputy speaker. By the way, you got to know later that I was just trying to help you. Because I was speaking to his constituents out there. But unfortunately, Cheboy did not make it back. But you are somewhere anyway. So I was just trying to make him happy because, you know, I know where he is. He didn't like going out at that time. But are you thinking of coming back the way you are looking nice? Please don't go back to Parliament. You look more mesara. I have said so much. But Cheboy, you will also accept. And my colleagues here, Caleb, Jared Okello, those who are within Parliament, one thing that you will accept, Emaniko is here, that even though you people think I'm not a very good runner, whether night runner or whatever it is, but if you Google members of Parliament, former and present, those who Kenyans think can be marathoners, I am in that category. Because you Google and you will see me with attire, with a red beret, running away from police officers. How many of you have not seen that? So that one you cannot take away from me. Even though you talk about Kabarak, and you know it is me who was addressing. Cheboy is very interesting. Sorry, I have not forgotten that is Joe Sang's day. Yeah? So let me finish with that. Now, you see, you had Cheboy always talking Kabarak, 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 Kabarak. he's a bully. And he's in that league and that club with a gentleman called Amos Wako. They used to bully me in parliament all the time. Amos Wako asked me, remind me again, which school did you go to? Just because he went to Alliance. And I could mention my school very proudly, Kokura Boys. Ati what? Is that home of someone or a school? So it is me Cheboy was talking about. By the way, Cheboy, after this, in the spirit of giving back to the society, I'm going back to that school after this. Immediately I finish, I'm going back to that school to give back to the society. That is why Mheshimiwa Walter Wino is waiting for me. That school is in his constituency. Having said that, so ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I've gone that route is because, you see, after Cheboy spoke, many of us became so formal. And please make sure next time you bring Cheboy to close events for us. Joe, I want to congratulate you. You are a wonderful man. It is very rare to turn passion into something big, as you call it here. And you've done it. And you're doing it for a cause. And by the way, there is one thing that those of us who know you would learn from you: the power of resilience. I have known you for a while now. I didn't know you just the other day when I became cabinet secretary. I've known you for a while. We have a mutual friend who is in the room. I'm not going to disclose her identity because people will ask me many questions. Please, I don't want to answer those questions. But since I got to know you, I see a very, very courageous. I see someone with resilience, and it has taken you places. And that resilience you are taking to Berlin, even if you don't win, I also want to add my voice. Please finish the race. I am joining that your club. What did you call it? Where there is that coach. And you know, when I come, I don't like to be led. So when I'm coming there, please be prepared to surrender that position to me. If it is the highest position, unless you create one for me. You can create one as a patron, chairman, or something. I have to have a title. But there must be rules in that team when I come, that I am joining you, but the rule is that I don't have to finish. If I do 5 kilometers, that is enough. Is that okay? So, Joe, we will support you in our small way, in our big ways. And you have started a noble cause. It is humbling to see those Kenyans here. I will tell you, many of us who share a similar background, we get emotional when we see such. And I don't know whether I've shared this with you, but the person who paid my school, who is my elder brother, actually worked in the tea farms. Literally, do we call it plucking or picking tea? Whatever it is. That is the work that he did to make me reach where I am today. And so when I see such reminder, it just demonstrates how far people come and how far people go. When I saw that Mzee saying how happy he is, he reminds me of my father, who was a little older than the way he looks. Not a little older, actually much more older. So you have started a good cause that you will be rewarded handsomely. Those of us who are Christian, who believe in the Christian faith, know that your reward is not here on earth. I want to just conclude by saying, you know, I saw that Mzee, how happy he is, and he's praying for you. I am today a Seventh-day Adventist because of something like that. I remember when I could not pay my examination fees in Form 4, and my father went to a pastor, a local pastor of Seventh-day Adventist, and got 300 shillings. I needed only 285. So the 15 shillings, when he came with the 300 shillings, the 15 shillings became my fare to school. That is the only time I ever boarded a matatu to school. I used to walk. Anytime the schools were open, I could walk 54 kilometers. And schools were closed, I walk again. Because after your parents, your brother has struggled to get you school fees, you don't ask again for fare. You also do your bit. And since you have your legs, you can do it. So that time, I got to use that fare, the 15 shillings, and it touched me. And I remember, who is this? And then he told my father that you will not refund that money to me. I have made my contribution to the young man. That is what made me Seventh Day. Because I saw a human heart in this museum. So you are preaching to people in a way that you don't know. You don't have to be a pastor. You don't have to be an evangelist. It is what you do. And it is what will follow you. And it is what people will talk about. We will support you. I know I will make my contribution, I've told you. Again, I don't also want to announce it here. But I am going to preside over an exercise here. Of those of us who can support this cause. We will take a few minutes before I head to Migori just to receive. But this one I'm not going to take to the National Treasury. This one I will leave in the foundation. So when you are donating it, please know that that money will remain to support this foundation. Joe, as you go to Berlin, we wish you well. We are confident you are going to do very well in that marathon. You don't have to win. You have passed a message already. All of us are behind you. I may not be able to watch you as you run, but I am with you. Oh, by the way, I can watch you later. I will talk to my son because I'm not very good at those things. To put it even after 2 days, yeah? After you have finished the race. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've done my part. I recognize also Waziri Keter, Charles Keter, in the house. He's also my friend. We were with him in Bunge. And of course, Caleb Kostanyi is here. Mheshimiwa is in the room. We have Mheshimiwa Jared Okello, MP for Nyandu. Walter Wino was somewhere there. I think he is jumpy. He has walked out. But he's somewhere there. Mheshimiwa Emaniko, although you are from KPC board, but you are there. But I want to agree again, as I was forgetting, your work at KPC speaks volumes. KPC's limited liability company, but it is a state-owned enterprise. Actually, it is what now we are going to term as government-owned enterprises. We are trying to categorize commercially viable enterprises and give them a different title and a different governance structure. We don't want commercially viable state-owned enterprises to be run the same way other state-owned enterprises or parastatals are run. The governance structure must be different. The way people find themselves into the board, and nothing personal on my sister, Emaniko, we were with her in Bunge, we were in the same committee of the House Business Committee with her. I know her competence. But if you are, the parastatal is a commercially viable parastatal, the appointment to management of such an institution should not be based on political considerations only. They should be run professionally. They should be run with business minds. There should be a governance structure that supports the commercial activities like we are praising KPC about today. Thank you very much for steering that institution, even where now government is going to surrender a few shares to other investors, majority of whom should be Kenyans. We still believe that KPC will scale the heights. With those many remarks, allow me, I don't know, PS, you are standing next to me. I don't know what you want to tell me. Maybe we need to agree. Thank you. So I'll give it back to the PS to conclude something. Then I proceed with the next assignment. Is that correct? You will let me know. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, a round of applause for CS Mbadi. I think my task is coming to an end. Joe, congratulations. Thank you so much. Keep on going. Mine is just to say that the good things we do on earth, it is being recognized. So I just conclude by saying, that shall be done on earth as it is in heaven. Thank you so much, MC.
Thank you, Bwana Pierce. Interesting. I do Capital in the morning, by the way, and my MD was very cautious on phone last night. He was like, Chico, two things. First and most importantly, we love Joe Sang. Watch what you're saying. And then secondly, we can protect you while you're there. But it's very refreshing to hear the CS of Education talking about capitation and making it reality, but also on a light note. We appreciate that. And also the CS for Treasury letting us know that if we don't see him on his way out, at least we'll remember him as a kind person. But before he goes, I hope to have both of these gentlemen up to have a conversation on radio. KBZ 061B, Hilux, a gray one, KBZ, Chico. Sorry, every time I hear you guys talking about schools, whether Kabarak, Sijui Nini, my education started in the US, elementary, so I can't relate. So once again, I have to remind myself where I am. KBZ 061B, Hilux, gray. You might want to go. You're shining the light in the wrong place, the car park. You should be shining the light on the money we're about to give here. Appreciation and acknowledgement of Felix Osano, CEO, Nairobi, Nairobi Hospital. We have already mentioned Honorable Keter. I've seen my friend Frank Mwiti, CEO, Nairobi Securities Exchange. I just can't see where he's seated, but he's in the house. Acknowledging Tom Bisonga from Stanbic as well. I'd like to acknowledge Charles Gasheru. I saw him here sitting next to Sarah Katusia. Hi, Sarah. Charles is in the house, and of course, we're about to go into the launch. I have been asked to read a small section from the Golf ambassadors in the diaspora who are with Joe Sang, which reads, Mr. Joe Sang is more than a golfing partner to us. He is a brother, a mentor, a friend whose values go far beyond the fairways. On the course, we have seen his focus, humility, and discipline. In life, we have witnessed his generosity and commitment to uplifting others. The launch of the Joe Sang Foundation is a true reflection of who he is, a man who measures success not by personal gain, but by the impact he makes on people's lives. And as he prepares to run the 2025 BMW Berlin Marathon, we cheer him on, not just as an athlete, but as a champion for children who need someone to open doors for their future. Joe, your golf ambassadors in the diaspora stand proudly with you. Heart-warming message. And now, ladies and gentlemen, having acknowledged them, been told Oliver Kipchumba is here. We want to acknowledge you as well. Welcome very much. And now I would like us to realize where we are going. The CS said he would run this part. Before we do, we are about to launch. And as I call on the CSs, both of Education and Treasury, the PS, of course, Petroleum, Liban to come, Joe Sang, along with the chairman of the foundation and the trustees of the Joe Sang Foundation, they will be coming up for the launch before we get into your pockets. Senator Alan Chesang is also in the house. There's the friendly face I'd like to talk to a bit later on. Good to see you, good to see you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as the people have asked to come up, they will be doing the launch. CS's, both Treasury and Education, the PS, Petroleum, Joe Sang, chairman of the foundation, and the trustees of the Joe Sang Foundation. I, on the other hand, want to prepare you for the part that will happen after the launch, which will be run slightly, in part at least, by the CS of Treasury, John Mbadi. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the moment asking you to do the thing in this moment.
Which is geared towards supporting a child to go through school. And today, we are formally launching the Berlin Marathon, which is happening on the 21st of September, 2025. And my call to action today to our well-wishers and Kenyans at large is to support Joe Sang Foundation by donating towards the cause and this transformation of lives, one child at a time. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you will be called to that. Now, while I am a sight for sore eyes, I know the gray beard and everything great to look at. I'd like you guys to turn your attention to just below the stage where we are about to officially launch the Joe Sang Foundation, a man who has shown us that it is not about yourself. He has done a great job for the country when it comes to KPC. He is looking alongside you to do a great service for the future of the country via the Joe Sang Foundation. And here we are with the Treasury CS and the CS of Education in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go, officially launched the Joe Sang Foundation. The motto is very simple, transforming lives one child at a time, one person at a time. Earlier we heard someone say that if you want to walk fast, do it yourself, but if you want to walk further, you must do it with others. What an amazing moment in history. You can take a deep breath, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a moment you can claim you were here, a moment in history. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we are in the part where we ask you to play a part. We want you to walk hand in hand with Joe Sang and the Joe Sang Foundation. And I'm joined by CS Ogamba, who is here. He will be doing this part. CS Mbadi did point out to you he's headed to Migori. We thank you for his time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I hang you over for the first 3 check presentations.
Thank you, thank you. The first one will be from Stanbic Bank. Please come. Followed by Jamii Telecom, and then Access Platinum, and then we'll follow with the rest like that. So Stanbic Bank, please. Okay. All right. Trustees, please come so that you can receive this so that Joe, congratulations. Well done. So bring it, then we receive it. This is Stanbic has given us a check of 1 million Kenya shillings. Please clap for them. Better clap so that the rest can come down kidogo so that congratulations and thank you so much, Stanbic. Yeah. Asanteni sana, Stanbic. Thank you. Asante sana. Thank you. Well done. Jamii Telecom. Okay. I'm told the chairman has already left, but they have given Kenya shillings 2 million. Please clap for them. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Access Platinum. Access Platinum have also left, but they have contributed Kenya shillings 2 million. Clap for them, please. Asanteni sana na mwambie tumeshukuru kabisa. Is there anybody else who wants to do something? Anybody else? Yes, I can see. Cooperative Bank of Kenya, Kenya shillings 1 million. Clap for them, please. Thank you so much. Leader of majority in